Yes. Well, Puritans are people who, the narrow definition of Puritanism is people who in 17th century England, a little bit in the late 16th century, a little spillover into the 1700s, mostly 17th century, people who wanted to purify the church and live godly lives themselves. And so they were nicknamed the Puritans as a term of reproach by the Anglicans. But the Puritans first thought it was a vile put-down term, but later on they said, you know what? We really do want to purify the church. We want to purify our own lives. So I guess we'll just accept the term, the name. So they're looking for the Reformation to happen again, because what happens in church history is you have what's called the second generation phenomenon, where the first generation gets excited about Bible truth, second generation, the kids grow up and they take it for granted. So that happened in the mid-16th century. And the Puritans were a group of people that became alarmed that we were losing the Reformation. And they wanted it to go even further. And so they wrote books on marriage, they wrote books on family, how to live as a Christian at work, things like that. The Reformers didn't have time to do all of that. They were hammering out the big doctrines, which the Puritans totally agree with. But they said, we want to carry Reformation further now into every area of life. So they wrote 29 books on marriage and child rearing. They wrote 41 books on how to meditate in your private devotions and all kinds of practical areas. Very good. So they want to just dedicate their entire lives wholly and solely to the Lord. And that's what attracts me about the Puritans. They would say with the psalmist, give me a single eye, thy name to glorify in every area of my life. And when you live that way, by the grace of God, you're really alive. And the fear of God is present with you. And that's what the Puritans thought was so important. One of them said, to fear God is to value the smiles of God, to be of greater weight than the smiles of men, and to fear the frowns of God more than the frowns of men. And that's the way I want to live. I come far short, but I want to live that way.
Yeah, it's a compelling way to live. And in addition, I think, to it being good for our souls to live that way, I think it's that sort of living that changes countries and societies as
Absolutely. Well. It's contagious. And when you really live wholly and solely for the Lord, as the Puritans would say, people will sit up and notice. Yeah. Now, there's a danger, of course, that some people, whenever you're more conservative in your lifestyle than the guy sitting next to you, he's going to call you a legalist. And the Puritans got a lot of that. And there were a few Puritans that at times, were a little bit too legalistic, I think, in their thou shalt nots. But in the main, I've been reading Puritans all my life. I can count on one hand the Puritans, I think, that fell into that area. Yeah. Now, there probably were more, and their books didn't get reprinted. But all the Puritans that are being reprinted are just godly, wonderful, wonderful writers and great to read.